Here we are going to be working on the construction of the complete plan, the true shape and the end elevation of a truncated pentagonal prism. We are going to be working on the construction of the complete plan, the true shape and the end elevation of a truncated pentagonal prism. Here are the orthographic views of this pentagonal prism. This is the front elevation and this is the plan. As we can see here in the plan, we have a pentagon drawn here in the plan as a result of this part being cut off from the pentagonal prism. So in the plan, we have the distance from here to here to be 100 millimeters. That is the length of the pentagonal prism. And then this line is 20 millimeters away from this end here. And then we have that the length or side of the pentagon is 30 millimeters. So what we have to do first is to replicate what we see here. And before that, let me talk about what we have here in the front elevation. For the front elevation, we have a cutting plane NN that cut this part off. And the cutting plane is at angle 45 degrees to the horizontal. So what is the distance from here to here? So what we have to do is to work out the plan first. Then from the plan, be able to get the front elevation of this pentagonal prism as we see it here. Let's go and see how this can be done. So what we have to do first is to construct the pentagon. That is where we are going to start from. We construct the pentagon as we see that the pentagon has a length of a length of 30 millimeters. That's a length of 30 millimeters. So we have to construct the pentagon first. So I'm going to draw a short vertical line here at this point. Draw a vertical line here, a short vertical line like this at this point here. And I will take a measurement of 30 millimeters. So I will take 30 millimeters. So from here to here, so this is 30 millimeters, okay, as we have it then. The next thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to make use of my protractor, as we know that the exterior angle of a pentagon is 72 degrees. The exterior angle of a pentagon is 72 degrees. So I'm making use of my protractor. I will set my protractor at this point that we have here, that we mark on the paper. So I will set it like this at this point, okay. Then I'm going to take a measurement of 72 degrees. So reading it from this side, this is 70. So here we have 70 and this is 72. Put a dot on the paper like this. Then I will come down here also at this point. So set the protractor like this, the center point on that point that we mark on the paper. Then I will read 72 from this side. So this is 70. Then I have this to be 72. So here is 72 degrees. Okay, so I have this. So I'm going to draw a line from this point. Okay, I will draw it through that mark that I put on the paper. So like this. Then I will also draw from here. Okay, so draw a line from this point through that point that we put on the paper. So having done that, so we are going to take a measurement of 30 millimeters. So from this point, I'll take 30 millimeters. So from here to here, so this is 30 millimeters. Okay, then I will also come to this side and also take a measurement of 30 millimeters. Here is 30 millimeters, as we have this to be 30 millimeters. All right, so the next thing that we are going to do is to get the remaining two sides. We already have three sides of the pentagon. This is 1, 2, and then we have this to be 3. So to get the third side, the fourth and fifth side of the pentagon, so we are going to take our compass and take the measurement of this distance, 30 millimeters, the length or side of the pentagon. So put the pin of the compass here, so make an arc like this, and then put at this point and also make an arc here. So we are going to join this point together. So I want us to bring it out with a thick line at once. So I'm joining this point together with this point. So make it a thick line at once like this. All right, so then I'll also draw from this point, so making it a thick line at once. So we have this, and then I will also make this line, so making it a thick line like this, and then we also make this line, we make it a thick line like this, and then this line we also make it a thick line from here to here. So we have the pentagon that we see in the plan. So we are not yet done with the plan. We still have other part that we are to draw for us to complete the plan. So what we are going to do here now, we come to this point, okay? At this point here, we are going to draw a horizontal line, so it goes to both sides like this, and then so we come to this point. So we are going to draw a line at this point. We draw it to this side, okay? So then we come to this point, so we have to draw a line at this point. So we draw the line like this, just to, so we need that middle point, and then we come to this point here, so we draw a line in this direction, and then we come up here, so we draw a line in this direction to this side, okay? So now, so we are going to take a measurement of 20 millimeters from here. As we see it here, that the distance of this line from this end is 20 millimeters. So we are taking a measurement of 20 millimeters from this point to this side. So take 20 millimeters from here. So take 20 millimeters from here to this side. This is 20 millimeters, okay? Then, so I'm going to draw a vertical line. So here I will draw a vertical line. So here I will draw a vertical line like this. So we draw a vertical line. So from here to here, so draw a vertical line. So I also need to extend this line, this horizontal line. I need to extend it to this side. So we draw it to this side. Okay, we have this now. So now, so I'm going to take a measurement of 100 millimeters from here to this side, as we have that length of the prism is 100 millimeters. So I will take a measurement of 100 millimeters from here. This is 100. So we are going to draw this line. I'll make this line, make it a thick line at once. I usually use my black pen for thick continuous line, while I use my red pen for thin continuous line. Okay, so then we are going to make this line from here. So making this line a thick line from here to this end like this, and then we also make this line a thick line from here to here, and then this line we make it a thick line from here to here. So we are going to leave this like this. All right, so now, so look at what we have here in the plan. So look at what we have here. So that is what we have here. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do is that we need to label this point. So I'm going to call this point, I will call this point, I will call it, this is point A here. So here is point A. This point I will call it, this is point B, and this point is point C here. So here I have this point with point D, and this point is point E. So let's take note of that. Now let's go and work on the front elevation. So we come up like this a bit, and then we draw a horizontal line like this from here to here. So at this point here, I'm going to draw a vertical line from this point up. So I will draw a vertical line from this point. So I will project it up. So it goes like this, okay? Then I'll come to this point. I will also draw a vertical line from here, and it goes up like this. Now, having done that, the next thing that we are going to do, is this. Okay, so we need to project a line. So we project a line from here. So from this point, so we project a line up to touch this, because if you look at the cutting plane, so this point that we have here, this point that we have here is also from this point up. So the cutting plane will start from here at angle 45 degree, and then it will go in this direction. But before that, we need to draw a vertical line from this point C and point A. They are the same what? Are the same level, okay? So we need to draw a vertical line up here like this, and then we come to this point B here. So we also draw a vertical line from here up like this, okay? So then we take the 45 degrees set square. For us to draw the cutting plane, we need to take the 45 degrees set square. So we are going to draw the cutting plane. So the cutting plane QQ, so it goes like this, okay? So we are going to start from here with 45 degrees set square, as the cutting plane is at 45 degree to the horizontal. So we draw like this, so it goes like this. All right, so this is the cutting plane. So for what we have here now, so to now produce other lines apart from this line, this line that we have here and this line is very simple. So what we are going to do is that we come to where this line, so where the cutting plane touches this line for A and C, which is this point, we have to draw a horizontal line. So from here, so we draw a horizontal line from here to here like this, okay? So we draw through that point, And then, so where this line and the cutting plane meet here, so we have to draw a horizontal line. I should have drawn this line with that thick line. Okay, so we draw like this. So we have this now. Okay, so looking at what we have here, so we can now bring out the front elevation. So we just need this part. This part is cut off. Let's take note of that. This is cut off. This part also, like this, is cut off from here. Okay, let's take note of that. So what we are going to do now is to bring out the feasible outlines and edges that remain after the part that is cut off is taken away. So this will be a thick line from here to here. We make it a thick line, and then we also make this line a thick line from here to here, and then this line is also a thick line from here down, as we see it in the front elevation. Okay, so we have produced the plan and we have also produced the front elevation. So this is cutting plane QQ. Let's write it here. This is cutting plane QQ. So let's write it here. All right. So now the next thing that we are going to do is that if you look at this line is for DE. So this will be D. So this will be D prime and also E prime. So D prime, E prime. So why this line here is for what? Is for A. So A prime, and then we also have C prime here. Okay, then this is for what? This is for B. So let's take note of that. We need this labeling, so that this is for B. All right, so having done this, the next thing that we are going to do is that by the time we cut this solid and we remove this part, we are going to see a rough surface here, and in pentagonal form. It will be in the pentagonal form. That is why we have this here. But that roughness, we need to show it here in the plan, and by the time we do show that roughness here in the plan, that means we have completed the plan. So we need to draw hatching lines on this surface using the 45-degree set square. So I'm making use of the 45-degree set square to produce hatching lines on this surface. Hatching lines are drawn within continuous line and they are equally spaced as I'm doing it here. So just look at the way I'm doing it. So make sure you try as much as possible to make the space equal as I'm doing it here. So we are producing hatching lines on this surface. Okay, all right, so we also have this. Okay, then we also have this. So all the hatching lines will only be on this pentagon. Okay, they will only be on this pentagon. Okay, so let's take note of that. All right, so then we produce this. Okay, we have this. So we have produced hatching lines on this pentagon, and that makes the plan to be a complete plan. Okay, so these hatching lines are used to show the roughness of this surface that we have here after this is taken off. Let's take note of that. Now let's go and work on the true shape. Now let's go and work on the true shape. So, and what we have to do is that we are going to draw a line from this point. Okay, that will be at a right angle to the cutting plane. We draw a line at this point that will be at a right angle to the cutting plane. We also draw a line at this point that will be at a right angle to the cutting plane. So for us to do that, because the cutting plane is at angle 45 degrees, so we make use of 45 degrees set square to do that, because 45 degree plus 45 degree will give us 90 degree. But supposing the cutting plane is at angle 30 degree to the horizontal, you use the 60 degree side of 30 by 60 degrees set square to draw it. And if the cutting plane is at angle 60 degree to the horizontal, you have to make use of 30 degree side of 30 by 60 degrees set square to draw the line that I said. Okay, now for this one, now the cutting plane is at angle 45 degree to the horizontal, so we are going to make use of 45 degree set square, and this is my 45 degree set square. Okay, so a part of it is already broken, but that doesn't mean I'm using it to do this work. Okay, it is. Okay, so what we have to do at this point here, we have to draw a line. So draw a line from this point at 45 degree to this in this direction. So draw a line like this in this direction, then come to this point. Okay, come to this point also, so draw a line in this direction, and then you come to this point here, so you draw a line. So draw a line in this direction, so it goes like this. We have this, and then move away. So move away a bit. So though the work, because of this limited space that we have here, so the work is going to enter into this, but that doesn't mean so it's going to enter into this. That doesn't mean. So just go on and do your work. Okay, all right, so just move away a bit. Okay, move away a bit from the object, though as I said that the work will enter into it. So draw this line like this as we have it here. So looking at this line that we have here, okay, so this particular point, look at it, this is point B. So this particular point here that we have here, this point that we see here, this particular point is point B. So we are going to write B here. So we now need to locate other points. We need to locate point A and point C. We need to locate point D and point E. We need to locate that. So how can we do that? So what we are to do is that if you look at distance of this line, okay, let me just make it let me do what I wanted to do like that. Okay, so we just need to connect. So if we draw this line, we draw it to down here. Okay, so we now have what we have this point. I want us to, so this midpoint, okay, this point here is the midpoint between C and A. So let's call this point, let's call it point X. Okay, let's call it point Y. Let us call it point Y. This is point Y. Y, this point is the midpoint of D and E. So let's call this point X. Okay, we have this. Let's take note of that. Okay, so now we need to transfer this distance. So we put the pin or the compass at point Y here, and we extend to A or we extend to C, any one of them. So just this, either you take AY or you take CY. So anyone that you like, just take one of them. So then we now follow this line. So this contains A and C. So bring it to the midpoint here. Bring it to the midpoint here, and then you make an arc here. Okay, so you make an arc here like this. Okay, so this is point A here. So here is point A and here is point C. Let's take note of that. And then so we now come to point. So this is point X if you want to, point Y if you want to know. So this midpoint is point Y if you want to know. There's no compulsion that I write it there. Then for point X here, so we put the pin at X and we extend to point E or we extend to point D, any one of them. So distance is what? EX and DX, they are what? They are equal. So just take this distance. So bring it to this point, okay? Bring it to this point. This is point X. So we make an arc here and then we make an arc here like this, okay? So this point here is point E. So we have E at this point and then we have D at this point. So if you want to know, this is point X here, okay? So let's take note of that. So what we have to do now is to join this point together to form the pentagon, so which is going to be the true shape of the chord surface. So we join CD together with a line like this. So it goes like this. And then we join what? We join BC together. We join BC together like this. We have this to be BC. And then we join what? Join AE together with a straight line like this. So we have this, okay? Then we join AB together. So join AB like this. So we join AB together like this. And then this line DE, we also make it a thick line from here to here. So having done that, we are to hash this surface. Okay, so we need to make use of 45 degrees square. If it works, so we go on it. Will not what? It doesn't work. It will not be good for us to draw the line like this, parallel to this line or parallel to the cutting plane. So we can't make use of 45 degrees square in this case. So to avoid that, okay, so we must not draw the line parallel to the cutting plane or parallel to this line. So we need to make use of 60 degrees. So we need to make use of 60 degrees. So this is it, okay? So and then so we draw this line, okay? So then come here, we draw this line like this, okay? Don't forget that the arching lines are equally spaced, okay? They are equally spaced and they are drawn mostly with 45 degrees square. Because of the condition that we have here, we can't use 45 degrees square, so we have to make use of 60 degrees square to do this. And you can also make use of 30, okay? But most times when I have a condition like this, I make use of 60 degree side of 30 by 60 degrees square, and that is what I'm doing here to produce the arching lines on this surface that we call the true shape of the chord surface. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so we move again and then we draw this line. So moving away, draw this line, and then moving away again. So we draw this line. Okay, moving away. So we draw this line. Okay, so we have this, and then moving away, we draw this line, and then we also draw this line here. Okay, so then, so this is the true shape of the chord surface. So here I'm going to write true shape here. So I will write true shape here. Okay. So this is the true shape of the chord surface. Okay, so let's take note of that. Okay, we have produced the true shape of the chord surface as we see it here. So now, so we have also drawn the complete plan. Let us go and work on the end elevation. Let's go and work on the end elevation. So let's see how that can be produced. So to draw the end elevation is very simple. So we also come to this point here. So we draw horizontal line in this direction, and then we come to this line, we draw horizontal line in this direction, and then we come up here, we draw horizontal line in this direction, and then we also come up here, we draw horizontal line in this direction. So we come up here also, so draw horizontal line in this direction, and come up here and draw horizontal line here in this direction. Okay, I need to set it well. So draw horizontal line in this direction. Then we take the 45 degree set square, 45 degree set square, because these views are being drawn in orthographic view in first angle projection. So set the set square at this point on the front elevation, at this point on the front elevation. So set it like this, and then so draw a line at 45 degree to the horizontal. So now, so where this line touches these horizontal lines from the plan, so you have to draw a vertical line. So this one is what is point C. Where do we have point C? We have it along this line. So draw a vertical line here to touch this line. Okay, just stop it there. So that is point C. Let's write C here. So this is point C here. We have this point to the point C. Then if I come to the midpoint here, this is point B. So I'm going to draw a vertical line from this point B, from this line that comes out of B. I will draw a vertical line. Where do we have B? We have the B along this line. So this is point B now. So let's write B at this point here for the end elevation. Now, if you look at the next point that we have here, so this is, I'm to draw a vertical line. So from here, so that's going to give me point A. This is A along this line, and we have A along this, we have A along this line here. So if I draw a vertical line from here, so it goes up like this, it goes up like this and touches this line. So we have this point here to be point what? To be point A. Now, to now get point D and E, so I need to come to this point D here, and then I will draw horizontal line from here to touch this line. Then I will take my set square. So I take my set square. If you look at D is along this line, so I will draw a vertical line from here to touch this line. Okay, to touch this line that contains D and E. So this point is point D. So let's take note of that. Okay, this is point D. Then for point E, I will come up here and draw horizontal line again from here to touch this line, and then I will now draw a vertical line from this point. So draw a vertical line from this point to touch this line, okay, on which we have what? We have D. So this is point E now. So here we have this point. So we point E. So all the points have been located here. So what we need to do now is to join them together. We need to join them together. So let me join them together. So we are connecting. So let's connect CD together with a straight line like this. Okay, so we connect BC together. So BC together with a straight line like this. So we have this. Okay, then we connect AB together with a straight line. So we have this. So this is AB, and then we connect AE together with a straight line like this. So here we have this, and then we connect DE together, so making it a thick line like this. We have this now. Okay, so this is the shape of the end elevation, but because we are looking at a rough surface here, so we need to make sure we hatch this surface, and to do that, so we take a 45 degrees set square. 45 will be used for this now. So as I said, that most times we use 45 degrees set square to produce arching lines, and arching lines are drawn within continuous line, also equally spaced. So, and that is what I'm doing here to show the roughness of the chord surface. So that is what I'm doing here now. Okay, so here we draw this. Okay, all right, so then we also draw this line. So here we come, we draw this line. So here we come, we draw this line. Okay, so we draw this line like this, and here we also draw this line, and then come here, so we draw this line here, and then so here we draw this line, And lastly, so we draw this. Okay, so this is the end elevation, so looking at the object in this direction. All right, so we are done with the construction of the complete plan, the true shape, and the end elevation of this truncated pentagonal prism. It's as simple as I've done it here. All you have to do is to practice. When you practice this, you become a master at this work. Let's meet on the next one, because this topic we are going to do a lot with it. God bless you.